We seen a number of Chicago Bears early on get cut from the squad to save money. So on today's episode, we got to talk about how we really feel about DeMarcus Walker being cut. That was one of the surprise cuts over the last few days. And then we got to talk about Ian Cunningham returning to the Chicago Bears after not getting that Jacksonville job. And do we think anybody else will be cut from the Chicago Bears, excuse me. Y'all already know we're going to talk about it and then dive into the mailbag. But you already know, you got to hear the music first.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears. I'm your host here, Bobby, and I'm joined by my co-host C-Dub. Y'all already know, if you tuned in, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. C-Dub, how you feeling, boy?
And I'm feeling great, man. It's Friday. It's Saturday now, but thank God it's the weekend. That's all I got to say.
You already know. But hey, C-Dub, yesterday we seen a number of guys be cut from the Chicago Bears. The first guy was Gerald Everett. You kind of understand that in a way. You look at it and you say, hey, we could probably go out there and look at another young prospect to see if we can bring him in. But me personally, I feel a little bit of ways about the cutting of DeMarcus Walker specifically. Before I go ahead and go, how you feeling about DeMarcus Walker being cut? Now, let's keep in mind that this cutting will help the Chicago Bears recoup about $5 million in cap space. But how you feeling about DeMarcus Walker being cut, bro? Was it the right move?
I would have to say that I believe that it wasn't. It's nothing we can do about it at this point. The Chicago Bears decided to move on from DeMarcus Walker, who I think had a pretty good year. He was good year. I'm going to put an extra adjective to it and say pretty good. He had a good year yesterday. He did show up last year, and he showed up and made plays. It's just surprising. I think everybody's a little surprised about that. It just sets the president what they finna do in the draft and the free agency.
Yeah, me personally, I don't necessarily like the cutting of DeMarcus Walker. I believe that $5 million was a bargain. You know what I'm saying? It was it's something that you look at and you say, hey, this young fella, you know what I'm saying? He ain't making much money, but I believe that with the way that he talks, the way that he's carrying himself, I looked at him as one of those leaders for on the defensive side of the ball. And I believe at such a bargain about $5 million, a little bit over that, if we keeping it buck, a little bit over $5 million. I feel like that was a good deal to have for a guy like DeMarcus Walker. And the only reason I'm a kind of not really with it was simply because I believe that you needed him as a rotational piece for your squad. This is a guy that adds versatility for you, who can work on the outside and the inside, and who really filled the void when Andrew Billings went down. Now, I look at it like this. Dennis Allen was like, nah, I need a little bit more out of that. Yeah. I want to work with somebody that's a little bit more different, and you got to respect it in that regard. But to be quite frank with you, I feel like you still could have utilized his talents for another season. A guy that already has been in the locker room. I feel like guys like him. But hey, you chalk it up to the game. This is a part of the game, and if the Chicago Bears turn to be a solid or a good team and the projection is for them to be a great team moving forward, there's going to be more cuts. So even though I do like DeMarcus Walker and feel like that he could have been a rotational piece to it, you got to understand that it's business, and a lot of times guys move on. It
I
is
want to
what it
point.
is.
I want to point something excellently said, nephew. I want to point out that when Billings, because you talked about Billings when he left, when Bennett left, he was really the man behind the Bears' run defense. Is what I didn't really think that was that good. You could look at that Indiana Colts game, like I think that was the
Yeah,
second game, and I had my antennas up, like, damn, we're not really good against the run. But I think we were respectable in some cases in the game. But when we lost Billings and Walker took his place, the running game kind of fell on the wayside.
fair
So we
enough.
just, if we're gonna give him some credit, we gotta call out, like, he really failed in trying to fill in for Billings. But do you really want to blame him 100% for that?
I mean, I think it's fair, bro. I think it's just what it is. This coaching staff that's new, you already knew there was going to be some turnover. We know that Gerald Everett was a guy that came from Shane Waldron. You know, DeMarcus Walker was probably a more of a Matt Eberflus selection.
Yeah.
So you it with new guys coming in the building, you kind of understand it to a degree. So that's why I don't necessarily like it, but I understand it. So it is what it is at this point.
It's so hard to say goodbye. Yeah, Everett didn't even
Ah.
really get a chance. How many
Boy,
fucking
that motherfucker
receptions is
had
that?
8 receptions.
He had 8 receptions, bro. Bro, we was in the off season like, man, bro, we got 2 raw ass tight ends,
Yo,
Gio Everett
bro,
and Komet.
we finna go crazy on
We
it.
finna go
Man,
nuts.
hell
This man
no.
got 8. He didn't even get a catch a game. He got a half a catch a game.
For sure. Like, it's crazy. C Dub. But we know that Ryan Bates is still on this squad. Do you see him being a guy that's gonna be let go next? Sports Illustrated, they jumping off the porch and saying that the Bears might cut one of the linebackers that we have. Keep in mind that Tremaine Edmonds takes up a lot of money. Do you think anybody else other than I believe Ryan Bates is about to get the chop, about to be gone? But do you see anybody else? Like Sports Illustrated, they jumping off the porch and saying one of the linebackers might be gone. You going that far, or you just keeping it towards like, hey, we just gonna wait and see? How you looking at that?
Wow. I want to wait and see. I'm not going to dismiss that notion from Sports Illustrated because they did kind of regress, especially Tremaine Edmonds. He kind of regressed, but I'm not ready to get rid of him. But I guess if that's what they want to do, it'll be surprising. There is more moves to be made. Ryan Bates is one of those guys, maybe a guy in the backfield. One of those 2 guys, maybe in the backfield, I think.
Mm.
Um, yeah, that's pretty what we might lose Scott. We might lose Scott as well. If we get some better wide receivers, it's definitely going to be some more of those guys leaving the Chicago Bears pretty soon. Definitely,
Yeah, I
100%,
expect some turnover for sure.
absolutely.
I do. But hey, before we move on into the mailbag, C Dub, Ian Cunningham returning to the Chicago Bears. Did a second interview with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but the Jacksonville Jaguars ultimately went with a Drew Gladstone, I believe is his name. But they did not select Ian Cunningham. How you looking at that dynamic, or how you feel about it?
I could have told them don't even go to the interview because you going into the interview and your resume is I was the assistant GM to the Chicago Bears in 2024. And they're going to look at you like, okay, thank you for the interview. See you later.
No,
Sorry. Yes.
no, that
Yeah.
is not how they went into this.
Yeah. It was
No,
a fuck. It was a, how was the Chicago Bears franchise last year? It was a disarray, right?
it was in disarray. It was disappointing. It
Yes.
was a disservice.
Yes.
So three D's, no Diddy.
So wait, before you finish, before you finish, so you would not say that he did a good. You cannot say that any of those 2 guys, Ryan Poles and Ian Cunningham, did a good job if the franchise is in disarray. What what represents you as a GM and a assistant GM is how well the franchise is running? Do you think the franchise is running smooth? Then I'll take away my take.
No,
All right, then.
excuse me, y'all. Guy's name is James Gladstone, not Drew. James Gladstone. But I will say this: that you could have went into those interviews and said, "Hey, look at what we built thus far." Coaching could have been the issue. Now, the guy James Gladstone comes from the Los Angeles Rams. You have Sean McVay over there, so you got good. You probably got a better example to lean on with showing how your team produced on the field. But if you're Ian Cunningham, I believe you still had some opportunities to say, hey, look at what we did these past few years. It's not my fault that the coach was ass. You know what I'm saying? It's not his fault. He gave the coach talent, did he not? Answer my question, then I answer your question. Did the front office give Matt Eberflus talent to work with to where the Bears could win more than 7 games and then win more than 5 games this past season?
Absolutely.
Okay, so what's your question now?
You're the Jacksonville Jaguars. You're the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Congratulations on being a black billionaire. Look, and you're going to hire somebody to run your franchise. Now, this guy comes into your office and he has the previous year had a record of 7-9. What 7 and 10?
7 and 10 last
and
year,
then
and 5
this year
and 12
that's passed
this past
is
year.
5 and 12. Do the conversation stop there, nephew?
No.
Why? Wait, okay.
Because,
go ahead and bullshit him. Are you going to hire him?
I mean, you got to look at everything. So now, when not like, don't get me wrong. I'm gonna get the nod to James Gladstone because with Los Angeles, they lost Aaron Donald off the defense and they bounced back this past season. So you say, I bet, and then the offense goes well. But if I'm looking at the Chicago Bears, I say Matt Eberflus was a fucking idiot. Like Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron was a fucking idiot.
Do they have the power?
I can look at me as the GM. If you say you the YouTube GM, Bobby, look at it and dissect it. I could say, hey, Javon Dexter, Zach Pickens, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker. I'm looking at Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards, Tyreek Stevenson. This is talent. It ain't Ian Cunningham's fault that Matt Eberflus was a damn idiot and couldn't get the best out of the talent that I gave him.
Does the GM
but
job
I do
stop
understand,
with the players?
Huh?
Does the GM job stop with crafting a good team? Or is it other aspects of the job that he also has to get right, like hiring a coach and reprimanding a coach or replacing a coach if they do not suffice?
I mean, I believe that's in consideration, but it ain't my fault that they found Sean McVay and we got fucking Eberflus. Poe signed him, not me, Ian Cunningham.
Well, where is your influence on Ryan Poles? Does he not?
My influence is, hey, Ryan Poles, Rome gonna be there. Pump the brakes, bro. He gonna be there. Chill. Hey, Ryan Poles, Carolina Panthers calling. We can get DJ Moore out of this and then work on and see if we can get Caleb next year. So it's what's it called? Nip and tuck. Yeah, so it's nip and tuck. But I do agree to your point that if you look at Sean McVay's record, you'd be like, all right, bro.
Yeah, they got the.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, this the killer.
Cunningham wasn't that far off.
This the killer. They got the power to change the coach anytime they want, right? Do you think that they waited too long to change the coach? Oh, he's a part of it. He's in the regime.
He's part of it, but the ultimate decision was fucking George McCaskey. Poles wanted to let him go.
I did hear that. I did hear that. But I wouldn't hire him if he brought his resume to him. Like, 7 and 5 and why did you come here?
I don't necessarily think you just should limit it to records. I think you look at the talent.
And I'm looking at the situation.
The talent was there for him.
I'm just saying the record because me and you know what we went through that season. We almost tore his family apart.
Don't start that shit. But hey, y'all, I'm at the tail end of the sickness. We trying to get it up out of there.
He is better though. He is better.
A lot better. But hey, C-Dub, Hey, great conversation, man. Now it's time to get into this mailbag. See, Dub, we kicking this thing off on the right foot. This first month, voicemail is gonna come from Marifa Azar.
Marifa.
Bobby, C-Dub, hey, them cognac boys. What's happening, fellas? It's your man, Marifa Azar, black yet again, man. Listen, I see all the fellas out there doing their mock drafts, man. And I said, man, I gotta go ahead and drop my Marifa Azar mock draft, man. 3 rounds, you know what I'm saying? So look, let's get into it, man. Number 1 pick, 10th overall. And all of this, man, is contingent upon Ryan Poles signing right guard Trey Smith and center Drew Dahlman in free agency. So I'm going based off of that. Okay? Now, let's get into it. Round 1, pick number 10, Chicago Bears select Kelvin Banks, left guard, University of Texas. Okay? Now we're gonna go get that offensive line straight right off the top. Okay? We're gonna complete the offensive line with Kelvin Banks at left guard. And we got Trey Smith at right guard, and then Drew Diamond at center. Now, moving right along. Round number 2, pick 39. Bears go to the defensive side. They gonna get defensive end Landon Jackson out of Arkansas. The big 6'7", 280-pound monster with the motor that's gonna be able to be on that defensive line a monster. Okay? He gets after the quarterback and sacks the quarterback a lot. I like him. Landon Jackson, round 2. Now, pick number 41, round 2. We're gonna go with another monster on the defensive line. Defensive tackle Tyleek Williams from OSU. That's right. Ohio State champions. We're going to pick off defensive tackle on their line, Tyleek Williams. And then round 3, we're going back to OSU to get our running back, Quinshawn Junkins. That's right. Quinshawn Junkins out of OSU, running back in the 3rd round. So there you have it. Marifa Azar, mock draft. So y'all go ahead and have fun with that, man. If Poles do what he's supposed to do, get all them players, gonna be a championship coming to Chicago very soon. All right? It's your man, Marifa. I'm getting up out of here, man. Got place to go, got people to see. But you know what I'm saying before I leave? It's Chicago up. That's bad out, baby. FTV. Let's go.
Let's go. Hey, Marifa, I ain't gonna lie. I think that's a solid draft. I ain't gonna hold you. Now, Quinshawn Junkins, him or Henderson from OSU, Ohio State. Look, I'm a Michigan fan, but I ain't gonna be no denier of talent. They don't play for OSU no more. So shit. I love the mock draft. And I heard, excuse me. First of all, big shout out to my team. Kev, Steve-O, C-Dub, myself, Big Hayes, covering this draft, bringing all the heat and talking about these prospects. I think it's been a very good pre-combine mock draft from all the fellas. But stay tuned in for the next mock draft that's coming after the combine. It's gonna be real fun. Hey, I hope that whoever the Chicago Bears select, that these guys can come in and have an immediate impact. Because we've seen guys that came in and didn't have an impact. So I'm hoping that those first 3 rounds, you gotta hit on every pick. Ryan Poles.
I ain't gonna lie.
Gotta hit. Yeah, I look at it just real quick, C-Dub. I look at the champions. They last 4-5 draft rounds 1 through 3, they hit. And that's what got them that championship. So Chicago Bears, you gotta hit. C-Dub, what you got for me?
Oh, this is a very good list from Marifa Azar. Shout out to Marifa Azar, one of my favorite human beings on this planet. And I ain't even met him yet, and I just know he a great human being. I just wanted to ask you a question. And first of all, let me get to the Ohio State running backs. That's all we do is just pump great talent into the NFL. If you're go and grab an Ohio State player, you put yourself in a good place. Let's just say that. I don't care if you like Michigan or not. Judkins or Henderson, which one y'all think is the best? Everybody kind of like groups them together. Like it don't matter with either one. I think Henderson is the better overall back. I'm not mad at Judkins, but I like Henderson as a better overall back than Judkins. They're both fantastic. And I wanted to ask you a question about these defensive line takes, selections. Is this before or after Demarcus Walker's exit from the Bears? I'm asking you that question, Marifa. Make sure you answer me in the comments.
I think that's great, bro. I think it's gonna be interesting to see for sure because I think it's a lot of talent coming through the trenches, bro. It's gonna be a lot of good talent coming through the trenches, and I think the Bears should address it appropriately. But to your point about the running backs, hey, I think you go either way. I don't know. Me personally, I like Judkins a little bit more because of the physical running style. But if you're looking for a guy who probably has a better combination, I'll give you the other guy. I'll give you Henderson.
I think Henderson is better overall.
I'll give you that.
He does everything a little bit better than Judkins. A little bigger. That's it. He's a little bigger.
For sure. But hey, shout out to you, Mareef. Appreciate the mock draft. Hey, y'all see y'all mock drafts in. You might get it played on a mailbag episode.
Bro.
But C-Dub, we keep this thing moving along. This next one up is from Fred.
Fred.
Here it is.
Cognac boys, Bobby C-Dub with a deuce, B-boy Fred. Hey, man, I love y'all mock drafts, man. Like, y'all definitely did y'all thing on the mock drafts and shit, though, man. But, hey, I want to talk about this. Let's say if the Bears don't get Trey Smith, do you think the Bears be all right signing that boy Becton or another guard? Like, I'm okay if they get, like, one of them veteran guards that they did good in Detroit, like, who was that, Zettler? And the other guy from Jacksonville, Brandon Shreve. I know I'm butchering his name up, sounding like C-Dub over here. But yeah, man, like, if they don't get Trey Smith, I think the smart move would be for them to, get them two veteran guards. You get them 2 years and you draft, some rookies. You know what I'm saying? They can possibly be some starters, you know what I'm saying? Get them trained up right. They can learn from them guys, though. But let me know what you think, though, fellas. I just want to know your opinions on that, man. Chicago up, better down or nothing.
Shout out to Fred, getting straight to the point. Me, man. Hey, Fred, I love Mekhi Becton's story. This is a guy who was pretty much virtually written off of the face of the world and then returned to the NFL world and became a fucking champion. You want to know, how bad it is in Chicagoland and how bad we want Caleb Williams to be a champion, DJ Moore to be a champion, Romo Doomsday to be a champion. If Khalil Mack returns, how much we want him to be a champion is crazy. But I'm not mad at none of those guys in the trenches that you listed. I think there's some really, really good prospects. And I would say, hey, if you can't get Trey Smith for the however much he gonna cost, Mekhi Becton could definitely be an option for you. But I say, hey, just do it. As long as the Bears get it right and they can get some guys that can come in and produce, I'll live with it. C-Dub, what you got?
I do agree. If you don't get Trey Smith, I would hope, and we have to question this about the past 2 years that we've been living through, that they have a backup plan and then another backup plan after that. Either it's in free agency or in the draft. But the trenches must be addressed. If it's not Trey Smith, it must be somebody. So do not play around. If we can't get him, if he wants to stay in KC, which is also largely possible. They just got through playing in the Super Bowl. You think do we have enough money to sway him from playing in Super Bowls? KC can probably make it back to the Super Bowl. So it's going to be interesting. You just better have your plan B, C, and D.
I agree with that. But shout out to you, Fred, and appreciate you for tuning in to the mock drafts, man. We be working hard as hell on this, looking at these prospects, trying to figure out which way the Bears can go and trying to consider everything. That shit ain't easy, especially when you try to consider everything. But shout out to you and shout out to Mareef for early on giving his mock. But hey, C-Dub, we jump into the next one. This next one is from Keys.
Yo, what's up, fellas? It's your boy Keys on this Friday, man. Just ran up out that school with them badass kids,
Oh,
and I'm about
bro.
to try to enjoy this weekend. But let's get to it, y'all. Just seeing the news that just came out with the cuts. One, I like it. I don't love it because one of the guys I felt was going to come back was Demarcus Walker. I felt like he was a good backup piece that could spill and a good veteran who was pretty good for our team. But as always, man, it's a business. And with this being a business, now I'm just waiting to see them cut Ryan Bates. We got to get rid of him, bro. Like he was bro. We lost the draft pick and he was not serviceable all year. So once that happens, you look at that cap. I think the cap right now is like 69, and it goes up to like 84, 85 mil. And if you want to make some other cap casualties like Kevin Byard and all of that, so now with them clearing that space, bro, they damn well better go get Trey Smith. You know what I'm saying? And Drew Dahlman. I think with the more money that we have to expand upon and what pieces we need, I think the biggest talk that's been around and everybody's talked about and I've watched is trenches, trenches, trenches. Because if we can get some guys that can come in and step forward, who's been pretty good, and a Milton Williams, Josh Sweat, or even if we go after Chase Young, any of those pieces like that, guys that have been really good, that'll be something that we need. I actually think the intel of if I was a player, and I've done this when I played, I recruited some of my friends to come and play with me, and we won. So if I'm Darnell Wright, I'm hitting that boy up, Trey Smith up right now, like, hey, bro, I need you. This is only gonna make our team better. It's gonna make me better. It's gonna make me an all pro, like it's made you an all pro to play next to somebody who's really good. I need you with me. You know what I'm saying? Players recruit. It happens all the time. Man, and then another thing, bro, I just want to shout y'all out. I'm waiting to see Steve-O and you, Hayes, y'all draft stuff. That man, C-Dub, man, he is a true uncle, dog. But you guys have been phenomenal, and everything that's going on, bro. You guys have always been the steady forces that have like helped this stuff out. So let me know what y'all think, man. Shout town up, bear down.
All right. So we heard from Keys. C-Dub, what you got for him?
Shout out to Keys. This is a great mailbag always. Keys. Definitely the trenches is what's popping about the Chicago Bears. I think that's number one on the list, and you can tell by the moves. I think these moves are geared towards getting enough money for they can be straight and go out and get those offensive linemen on this line. They need to fix it, and I think they are attacking it with the aggressiveness that they need to, because it's been too long. They like 3 years behind. So if you got to sacrifice a good guy like DeMarcus Walker, it's okay, because it's good for the future, and we got to protect Caleb Williams and Trey Smith. Man, I just hope they have a plan B, man, because I think I would want to stay in Kansas City. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think I would want to stay. I'm just being honest, nephew.
I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, I think that when you talk about it, I think that the Chiefs is very, very intriguing to stay put, because
Right.
Patrick Mahomes in his career, he ain't seen nothing less than an AFC championship.
That's crazy.
Nothing less than an AFC championship. So that's very, very intriguing when it comes to Trey Smith and what his future holds. But Keys, hey, I keep it real with you, bro. And it's kind of off, it was hella off topic. I hope I can meet you one day, bro. Because, and this is off topic, you are a black man teaching in schools.
Oh, bro.
I personally feel we need more black male figures in our schools to help mold the future for our youth. Yes, we love our black women, but I think there has to be a dynamic between the man and the woman educating our young kids. And I honestly feel you will agree with that 100%. And I also appreciate you showing love to the guys doing the mock draft. I hope you was able to catch up on Steve O's mock draft. It was really good alongside with the other guys like C-Dub, Kev, and myself. And I'm interested to hear Hayes stuff too. So it's very, very interesting. We don't tell each other what our drafts are gonna be. We just listen to each other. We say, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But appreciate you, Keys, man. I hope I get to meet you one day, bro, because you doing something that should be inspiring to a lot of the youth, especially young black boys, for
Well
sure.
said. Well
For
said.
sure. But I appreciate the call, C-Dub. This is the last one on the day. We get to hear from my man from Dallas. Here's the next voice, the last voicemail of this episode. This is Darius from Dallas. Here it is.
What's going on, guys? Old Darius from Dallas, man. I just want to take a break here to comment on the recent cuts, man. I like it, dude. I love it. I hope that we get a couple more to even fill. If we can free up another 15 or 20 million, man, that would be awesome if we can do that somehow, some way. So good thinking there with Ryan Poles, man. One thing that this man does well is he manages the salary cap very well, guys.
He does.
Don't let that go unnoticed, man, because we've had so many GMs for this organization that have mismanaged the cap and put us in bad financial situations, man. So let's just praise Ryan Poles, at least for right now. We'll see what he does after free agency and the draft. But let's at least praise him for constantly managing and maintaining the salary cap, man. It's an awesome job out of him. Everett, not a bad tight end at all by any means. He could probably do, good somewhere else. He'll probably go if he went somewhere else or Buffalo or something like that, or somebody else like a Cincinnati that can actually utilize him. I think he could still have a really good career. Just wasn't working for us with that price tag, and we had to get Shane Waldron out of our system. So that's the first start to that. And as far as Demarcus Walker, man, I look, he's solid, but that's about it. And I think it's good to set the standard, not only just with the defensive line, but with the whole team, that we're not just settling for mediocre results no more. We're just not, bro. If you're not making a big impact, or at least have the potential to make a big impact, and it shows up on film, then you have to go. You can't just be in this motherfucker collecting a check because we like you, or because because one of the McCaskies like you. I got tired of that shit. So love what we're doing so far. Looking forward to seeing more. Man, y'all got. I just want to say this one time, man, and I'm done even mentioning the man's name in this manner. Y'all got to please chill with the Cole Kmet slander, man. I'm looking at all this shit. Hey, you shouldn't have to be constantly addressing Cole Kmet slander. This is retarded. What are we doing, bro? Y'all have to stop listening to Mullion Hall and all these motherfuckers on 670 and 1000 and just repeating what they say over and over again the whole offseason, bro. Think for yourself as a Bears fan, have an original fucking thought, and stop wasting Hayes and all these guys' time with these fucking generic ass comments that y'all got from some clip you saw for ESPN 1000 or 670. God damn it, dude. I'm so sick of y'all motherfuckers. But take yourself there then.
Shout out to Darius from Dallas. C-Dub, you clapping what you got.
Shout out to Darius from Dallas, bro. He sound like one of us. He belong to us. He is family, bro. That's how we do this show. Bring up something you thought that came out of your brain. Stop copying these numbskulls getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to talk about shit. So, as that being said, I want to give you a challenge, Darius, because I want to ask you a question. I want you to answer this question in the comments, because I'm gonna be looking for it, Darius. Who you think on this Bears squad is due to be cut or traded to free up some more money? Because we talked about it earlier. I want to know who also can become a victim on this team, and I want somebody surprising that nobody's seen coming. Who, like, the least thought about person that can be cut? I have one. I'll answer you in the messages. Great take. What can I say? Our guys know what they doing. Shout out to them. I love all of y'all. Y'all the best in the world. That's all I gotta say.
For sure. Y'all are the best in the world. And Darius from Dallas, you said that shit right on the money. Like I said, on last week's mailbag that we did on Saturday, I think Cole Kmet deserves an opportunity, bro. We did, like, how many games did we go without him receiving a target? Like, let's keep it a grand. And that's why I like Ben Johnson coming into this when it was like, who's your top head coach candidate? I said Ben Johnson because not only do I believe in his offensive ability, but I believe in his track record to where he was a tight ends coach in the past, and the tight ends he's worked with, they thrived. We're talking about TJ Hawkinson and Sam Laporta as the last two examples who thrived in his system. So you telling me that Cole Kmet can't be a Sam Laporta and a TJ Hawkinson? Yeah, you can argue who's more athletic, who has better catching ability, but I know what Cole Kmet can bring. I say give Cole Kmet another run for his money, because that was at least, like, and y'all can fact check me on this because I ain't got the exact number in front of me, but I can guarantee that was at least 5 or 6 games that Cole Kmet didn't receive a target.
After London.
Like,
after London. They got to 4-2, nephew, by not featuring like in a sense like featuring a top running back, but featuring, making sure he was involved in the game. They got to 4-2. After the Hail Mary, we didn't see much of Cole Kmet.
Not at all.
And not his fault.
So I got to show a little love there. But I respect that too, Darius, because a lot of people, they hear one thing and they just go.
Oh man, that's
you know
it.
What I'm saying?
Oh,
you just go. Let's form our own thoughts. Yes, and some of these other places, they do a good job. Like, don't get me wrong, they do a good job. But that doesn't necessarily mean that has to be your opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So shout out to all the callers, man, that called in today. C-Dub, you got any final thoughts?
Hey man, we getting close. We got this. What is this? The combine coming up. Y'all be ready for our new mock draft, because I think I messed up on the first round, but I'm gonna just leave it there because it's just, I love Ohio State. I think he's a great player at Simmons at 1, but he is injured. I'm just being real. So I want to change it, but now I thought about it. I'm gonna just leave him there because it might change in the next draft. So
for sure. Man, it's gonna be more entertaining things coming over here on Chicago Bears Central, and the first episode of NFL Central with me, myself, and Steve-O, with guests featuring from other guys from the Chi-Town Sports Network like Hayes, C-Dub, and Big Kev will be featuring. But me and Steve-O is going to have the first episode of NFL Central dropping this upcoming Monday. That should be February 24th, if I'm not mistaken. And it's going to be off to a great start, and we going to be getting this thing rolling. So y'all make sure y'all stay locked in and tuned in to that, and we just going to keep this thing rolling. But C-Dub ain't got none left. I ain't got none left. We appreciate all the callers. We appreciate y'all. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to be a part of the mailbag episode, call in. The number to do so is 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears. We appreciate y'all, man. Chi-Town up and bear down. Peace out, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.